President Trump launched the war not from the Situation Room at the White House, but from a curtained-off area inside his lavish Mar-a-Lago resort. The commander-in-chief huddling with his closest aides, Chief of Staff Susie Wiles, Secretary of State Marco Rubio, who's also the National Security Advisor, CIA Chief John Ratcliffe, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth. The chairman of the Joint Chiefs there too, General Dan Kane, out of his military uniform and away from the Pentagon, mapping out the strike plans. But beyond that black curtain, it was just another night at Mar-a-Lago. The president dropping by a party in full swing, seen in this video obtained by the Daily Mail, before returning to the war room. And a few hours later, around 1:15 a.m., Trump back behind that curtain, watching the bombs fall. And at 2:30 a.m., the president announcing the strikes in this recorded video.
We're doing this not for now, we're doing this for the future, and it is a noble mission.
Trump's path to war extraordinary by any standards. For more than a decade, his mantra, America first. His promise not to lead the U.S. into foreign conflicts.
We are ending the era of endless wars. It is not the duty of U.S. troops to solve ancient conflicts in faraway lands that many people have never even heard of. We are not the policemen of the world.
A pledge he repeated on election night.
They said, he will start a war. I'm not going to start a war. I'm going to stop wars.
And on the day he was sworn into his second term.
We will measure our success not only by the battles we win, but also by the wars that we end, and perhaps most importantly, the wars we never get into.
For more than a decade, Trump saying the U.S. should not be in the business of regime change.
We will stop racing to topple foreign, and you understand this, foreign regimes that we know nothing about.
But on Saturday, he made it clear the goal of the American attack on Iran to topple the nation's supreme leader.
Hours after the United States and Israel started these strikes, I spoke to the president.
As military leaders tried to determine whether the Ayatollah was dead, the president returning a call from ABC's Rachel Scott.
This was around the time where we were starting to get a lot of reports coming in from Israeli media that Iran's supreme leader had in fact been killed. Within the first few seconds of talking to the president, he told me that he was surrounded by U.S. military leaders. And even in the background, I could hear a lot of chatter from what I assumed to be those military leaders discussing a lot of the intelligence. And so I asked the president, did U.S. intelligence show that Iran's supreme leader was in fact killed? The president told me we believe so.
In the run-up to this moment, in a break from his predecessors, Trump did not fully make his case for war to the American people. Just last week, he declared that American strikes in June had wiped out Iran's nuclear program.
The United States military obliterated Iran's nuclear weapons program.
Though his team said it would take years for Iran to rebuild, Trump now insisting it was happening fast. Was that the reason for the strikes? The president's video message also listed a host of other Iranian hostilities dating back to the 80s.
In 1983, Iran's proxies carried out the Marine barracks bombing in Beirut that killed 241 American military personnel.
Last night, after the Ayatollah was confirmed dead, there was no presidential address to the American people. Trump instead dropping by another Mar-a-Lago fundraiser. Tonight, in another video message, the president declaring a new purpose, saying America's military campaign is, quote, the duty and burden of a free people.
We're undertaking this massive operation not merely to ensure security for our own time and place, but for our children and their children, just as our ancestors have done for us many, many years ago. This is the duty and the burden of a free people.
So let's bring in Mary Bruce live at the White House tonight. The president this evening and the evolution of his messaging on this, the U.S. military operation in Iran. He's now saying, as we just heard, it's the duty and the burden of a free people, Mary.
And David, there is no question that what we are seeing from the president is a shift in tone. Today saying we cannot allow Iran to, quote, extort the world. Some of the president's longtime supporters have real questions. They remember his words saying he would not start a war. Others in the president's party are all aboard. The big question now, how and when will the president make the case for this war to the American people as the strikes continue? David.
Mary Bruce with us tonight as well. Thank you, Mary.